6 chill, for real.
Judah. The scepter will never leave Judah. The scepter will never leave Judah. The scepter will never leave Judah. I'm Judah. Christ sprang out of Judah. King David was Judah. King Asa was Judah. Don't crowd me up, who gon' rouse me up? Alistair Crowley, your time is up. It's a big mess, I gotta clean it up. Esau, the end of my kingdom's up. On the eagle's neck, I'll press. I woke up from my rest. My rulership is up next. No vex. Judah. The scepter will never leave Judah.
We're about to start. Shalom, Israel.
Shalom.
We're here at ISBHBK, Norfolk, Virginia, at 2016 Granby Street. And our class times are Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays from 7 to 9 p.m. And then we also have a school in Houston at 8524 South Braeswood Boulevard, Houston, Texas. And the class times out there are Mondays, Wednesdays, 7 to 9 p.m., and then Fridays from 6 to 8 p.m. And they also host the Sabbath morning class on Saturdays from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. But then we also have our schools in San Antonio at 444 Walsham Road, Suite 201. But then the information is also on the YouTube, so it should pop up on the screen. And then now we also have the Blog Talk Radio by Mashaba at blogtalkradio.com/Mashaba, and that's Tuesdays and Thursdays at 10 p.m. And we also have multiple other YouTube channels: 5 Minutes of Wisdom's Hidden Truth Bible Show, Israelite Media Corp, and then we're also having the kids classes as well, live on Sundays at 1 p.m. But then the next feast that we have that should be coming up is the Feast of Weeks, and that's on a Saturday, May 15, 2021. Right? And then and then we have Israel too. That's back in motion. You know, we had it on pause because of Passover, but now it's back in motion. So you can fly your orders in as well too. So yeah, that's Israel wear, and the link should be on the bottom of the YouTube, right? Yes, right. And then we also have Hebrew Academy in Norfolk on Wednesdays from 7 to 9 p.m. and on Houston they have theirs via Zoom. If you're not local, you can tap in on Tuesdays, every Tuesday. So, and that's from 7 to 9 p.m. as well. So, and then if you got to contact any priest, any council, communication, you know, you got Priest Kazakia's number that should pop up on the YouTube screen, and also Priest Quadazop. So you should be able to contact them through their phone if you want to counsel, you know, dealing with any issues, need to communicate, you know, that healing. So, and we also have the business too. That's a Sweet Ambiance. You can check us out at MacArthur Mall in Norfolk, Virginia. But then we also opened up a Sweet Ambiance in Rochester, and that's
in Rochester.
Okay.
In Rochester Mall, Great Mall.
Okay. Yes, sir. And then we also have a donations. And if you also, we got the Wells Fargo, the Google Wallet, and then you can see that on the screen. The sister put it up. So, yeah, check us out.
Yeah, Shirashana, the whole thing is leaning on that camera.
I fixed it over here.
No, you did. No, it's not. You did not fix it. The whole thing is leaning.
I'll work on it.
Go up here. You know how to take that off of there?
No, sure.
Oh. Okay, your job after class, is to learn how to deal with a camera stand. All right. That ain't gonna help it. You guys gotta take it off of there. That's broke. Use this one right here, cause it's leaning literally like a cholo. It's leaning like a cholo, Holmes. Yeah. So no, that's not how you take it off either. Yeah. So brothers and sisters, while we're fixing the camera real quick, yeah, you twist that one off. No.
I got you.
Whew. Man, become all things, man. Yeah, y'all brothers and sisters, y'all know how we start out. We're going to start out with questions. We're finishing, or I'm not going to say finishing, because by the time this class, we're not going to be able to get through the whole portion of that 3rd chapter in Timothy's, but we are going to be touching on where it says that a bishop should be a man of one wife. Okay? So we're going to be touching on that. So we're going to let y'all pill in here. Let me see if anybody got any there you go. Yeah, that's the one y'all need to use. Okay. Don't never use that one anymore. It's broke. Okay. Yeah, we need to use this one right here. Okay. It's cheesy. Yeah. See if there's another one back there though, so we can use it for the other one. Not. It might be leaning up a little bit. Shawashana, you see it?
Yeah. I'm a little bit.
Okay. While she's doing that, if y'all got any questions, get them in. We want to touch on the rest of this 3rd chapter of Timothy's, but we're going to touch over the portion. Husband, damn, brothers is logging off already. Brothers is already logging off. Y'all already logging off? What? No, she's fixing the camera now for y'all logging in. I'm just messing with y'all. She's just fixing this camera.
Is anybody else going up there?
Yeah, Ariel's gonna be up here.
Okay.
Okay, so before we get into this topic, man, y'all get the link out, share, right? Like, subscribe, all that goodness. Remember, man, we got a lot of classes on this channel. Share it, get them out. I know there's some new brothers on there. We got, so check out our other channel, the main channel, which is in Houston. That one has a lot of videos, way more videos than we got on this channel. And we go through a lot of topics, a lot. So check that out, all right? Let's see what we got here. We got anything online?
No, just shalom.
Shalom to everybody online. I'm only going to give y'all a few seconds before we get into this topic to see if anybody got any questions. If nobody got any questions, we're going to go into this, but I want to give y'all a second. I don't want to just jump right into it. I know we've been having different certain questions. New people been jumping on. Want to give everybody the opportunity to ask those questions. Y'all know how I feel about it. If y'all asking questions, y'all are studying. You know what I mean? If you ain't, you ain't studying. A lot of brothers and sisters got to get in the book, study. There's a lot of things that you don't got down. And y'all got to ask questions to get through this Bible, man. Then you got to study to show yourself approved. Okay. So, do me a favor, log in there to see. We'll give them a few seconds to see if anybody got any questions. If not, we're going to move on. This is an important topic. I'm going to say this again. This is one of those topics where we're going to be dealing with the men. As always. Right? But when we hit our Fridays classes and we hit women, don't act weird. Please, don't act weird. All right? This is, when I say for men, this is a unisex class, if you want to look at it like that. But a lot of these points, we go right into the men and deal with certain issues they're dealing with. Fridays, we want to do some women classes. And I know Quatzazop is also going to do women classes too. So we got a lot of new sisters coming in, and there's a lot of battles that they're going through. So we want to touch on classes to get, for them. All right. So that being said, if nobody got any questions, none? What we got? Nothing? Okay. All right, so let's go into this topic. Let's go back to Timothy's, the 5th chapter. Third, excuse me. 1 Timothy's 3.
Come.
And you're going to read, because we got to 3 and 2. Right? So read verse 1 again.
1 Timothy chapter 3 verse 1.
Yep.
This is a true saying.
Uh-huh.
If a man desires the office of a bishop,
Yeah.
he desires a good work.
Right. So this is what we've been going into, and we're touching on every word in here to show the importance to the men of what office they're taking on and what duties we're really taking on. And I wish a lot more in the past that this happened to the generation in the past, right? The bishop really understanding that what we're going to take on as men serving the Most High. Because once again, you got a lot of men that are shell-shocked on what is supposed to be the qualifications and duty to serve as a priest in the Most High's army. I'm going to say that again. There is a qualification according to the gospel and a standard that we supposed to uphold when following the gospel. All right? Nobody, like if y'all been paying attention to Sabbath class, there's always been a standard. There's always been a high standard that the Most High required of us. So we're coming to the New Testament and we're dealing with the qualifications, right? So if you desire to be a bishop, you desire good work. Go ahead.
A bishop then must be blameless.
And we touched on a good class on being blameless and what we're going to partake in as a bishop, right? What the bishop had to be and try to achieve to, the level of status that we had to fight for, right? I'm going to say it again. I wish we went into this a lot more back in the days, right? Because then there wouldn't be so many crazy ass disgruntled elders, right? There wouldn't be so many cats talking about, I've been in the truth for 30 years, but you sound like you've been in the truth a week, right? It's out there. It's rare. There's a lot of great men that I know from the past, man, in every camp y'all see out there now. Because a lot of the brothers that are out there now that are running schools, it's a lot of good brothers. But there's a lot of things that we need to stay on top of, building and doing our works, right? The leadership got to be accountable, and they got to make the people accountable. That's important. So this is our job to make our brothers and sisters who we're dealing with accountable. And if you're going to come and be in a school and do it the right way, this is the qualifications. If you're going to try to not come through the straight gate and anoint yourself and print out your own diploma and make yourself a priest, the Most High ain't going to be with that anyway. We've already seen that. We've already seen those type of brothers implode, right? So, once again, the standard, you had to be blameless. Go ahead.
The husband of one wife.
So that's the point we're talking about, because we touched on blameless. Now we're talking about the husband of one wife. Why? Why was it important that Paul pointed out that if you were going to call yourself a bishop, or you were going to qualify to be this bishop, you need to be the husband of one wife. Now, I'm going to have her put up there in the Hebrew the in the Greek, this definition of one. Now, I know a lot of y'all know that, but I got to get this out of the way for the new brothers and sisters. You're going to go to that 1 Timothy 3, verse 2. And then you're going to look under 1. It's very important that we understand what it says by one. The husband of one wife. Okay, why is it worded that way? So 1, you're showing one. The word one. The husband of one wife. Right.
You will show this part of the phrase.
What?
Am I showing this part?
Yeah, you're showing that part. What does it say on there? Is it Greek, right?
Yeah.
Okay, but we got to get the definition. Go to phrase. Let's see what it says. Okay, go back. Go back and let's put up. Go back to 1. And then let's click on that. There you go. 1, right? It should say Mia. You got to learn how to maneuver through that blue sword. Yeah, I'm blind, so I can't really see where you're at.
Are you on it?
No, I'm not on there.
So there's the strong definition. Then you got the Thayer's Greek lexicon definition.
Okay, what they got on there?
The cardinal number, one, universal, opposed to many. Top one, it says primary numeral.
Set primary what?
Numeral.
Right, but I'm trying to look what it says what does it say in the Greek? I want to see if you have the right one.
No, I don't see anything at first.
Okay, because when you go over here, I should have had that ready. My bad, y'all. So when you go to your eSword or my sword, and you go to that 1, got to get this out of the way. It says transliteration, Mia, only one, and then it says someone, right? So this Mia is not as in like one only, right? If you go down in here, and I'm dealing with the my sword, okay, and it takes you to the G1520. G1520. No, I'm sorry. And the Strong's is G3391. All right. No, correction again. And the Strong's is G1520. It says 1 first. You see that? It says 1, and then it says first. So it's very important to understand that Paul wasn't trying to go against the law or break the commandments, right? Because the Bible literally tells you in the law, just as it tells you don't eat pork, right? It tells you in the law how to deal with more than one wife. So Paul wasn't breaking the law. Okay, he wasn't saying, no, you know what? That law don't apply. What he was saying was, you were going to deal with your first wife. And this is very important, because being a bishop, one of the biggest problems is you don't know how to deal with your first situation, your first issues, your first problems. So I want to say that. What's that? What you got?
The law.
Huh?
The law. Exodus 21.
Yeah, hold that real quick.
Okay.
Hold that. We're going to go there. So I'm going to say it again. If you go to the Greek, it says Mia. That meant, it says here in the Thayers, only one, right? Someone. That's in the Thayers. But when you go down to the Strongs, it says one or first, right? And then it says first one. So you had to deal with your first wife, right? You couldn't try to just take on many women. Why? Why could you not just take on many women? Why could you not just take on many women? Who knows? Why? Go ahead. You gotta talk loud for them.
I think, you'll be making whores out the daughters of Jerusalem.
Remember, we're dealing with a bishop, and him coming and starting to be a bishop. This is his first communication with these. This is his first talk about a bishop. It was, listen, you're gonna be blameless, and you're gonna learn how to deal with your first wife, right? Why? Why did he say that you had to deal with your first wife first? Why?
Well, you got to learn before you start to get, a second wife or more. You got to make sure the first wife that you know how to deal with her.
There you go. There you go. You had to know how to deal with her. And we got a lot of this because the law says a man can have more than one woman. We got a lot of brothers not taking into account that their duties are to the Most High first. You see that? Not to women. Not to, I'm going to come in and I'm going to use the Bible to be a pimp, a player, right? And to say, you know what? It's in the law. I'm not doing nothing wrong. You see? And this is a problem. It's a problem with especially a lot of young men. So to a point, I agree somewhat with Israel United in Christ. What I don't agree with Israel United in Christ is that they changed the Bible. You can't change the Bible. You can't say, that was back then. Because then now you sound like a Christian because the Christians say, we didn't eat pork because that was what? That was back then. Right? We can eat pork now. Now you're giving leeway for people to pick and choose what is right and what is wrong in the law. That's where I disagree with it. On top of the elder was not even taught nothing like that. I don't know why would you come up with that. What? No, I guess. So this is what we have to understand, that is what you said perfectly. That in order for you to deal with more than one wife, you were going to come in and understand what it took to deal with one woman. Right? Watch, where are you at right there?
Luke chapter 12 and verse 48.
Let's wait till everybody hit it real quick.
Come.
Luke 12. Luke 12, where are you at?
Luke chapter 12 and verse 48.
Luke 12 and 48. Hold on one second.
Come.
Luke 12 and 48. Let me get right with you. Go ahead.
Luke chapter 12 and verse 48. But he that knew not and did commit things worthy of stripes shall be beaten with few stripes. For unto whomsoever much is given,
right,
of him shall be much required.
Right. The first thing we got to see is that the more things you're given, the more requirement. So think about it. You coming in, you're saying you want to serve the Most High. You're a prophet to the nations. He chose you to be kings and priests, right?
Come.
And your first thing is, let me stack women. let me get women. Right? And and I'm going to say it again. And I'm not saying the names to put brothers on blast, but this is a logic of some men. We got a brother to know that you can't wear sandals to street speaking. Talk about, yeah, I'm working on number 2. And number 1 didn't know what the hell. She wasn't sat down and even taught. Excuse me. You know what I mean?
Come on.
She wasn't even taught. She wasn't even fortified. She wasn't even stable. In his mind was, I'm working on number 2. I'm entertaining some women over here, and this woman is sporadic. She had suicide thoughts, right? Think about that. You working on number 2, but number 1 got suicide thoughts.
Come on.
But why? Because they're not using the Bible the correct way. They're picking and choosing. Yeah, we know the law. Yeah, we know the law says a man can have more than one wife. But how you come to serve the Most High and you don't know how to deal with your first wife? So this is me not disannulling the law. This is me reminding us that there's 2 things in the Bible. One thing is telling us that if you come to be a bishop, you come to serve the Most High, you got to learn how to deal with your first wife. And this is a theme coming in with brothers. You got a lot of young men, 20 plus year olds, not even reaching mid-20s. And their first thing is like money, women, and it's like, then what you come to the truth for? You come to serve to the Most High and come to give to the Most High, but you're still on worldly concepts. And this is the problem with us that we have to see as bishops, as teachers, as leaders. What is your motive? What's your motive? You here to get women? You here to use the Bible for your benefit, or really serve the Most High? So as much is given, much is what?
Much is required.
So much is required. And that's what you're doing. The another wife you take on, that's more duties. Then you're going to be complaining about what? Oh, I can't do my duties in the sanctuary for the Lord, my priestly job, because I got to tend to my first and second wife. So why would that have to even be said if you rooted your first and second wife? Because they would be doing what you're doing. You see this? So this is a problem. Where are we at?
1 Corinthians chapter 6 and verse 12.
Read that.
All things are lawful unto me,
right?
But all things are not expedient.
Right. All things are not expedient. So we know a man can have more than one wife. We know the law says that. But is it expedient? How is it expedient for you when you can't deal with your first wife? You can't deal with her. You can't teach her. She talks over you. She's running her mouth. She's disrespectful. But you want 2 disrespectful heathens? So you got to see that why Paul was reminding them, listen, you got to first be a husband of your first woman. And then at the same time, if you couldn't deal with your first wife, listen to this. Here's the kicker out of all this. If these are the qualifications, let's go back to the first class. If the qualifications to be a bishop was to be blameless, if you weren't blameless, could you be a bishop?
Yeah.
If you didn't know how to deal with your wife, could you be a bishop?
Yeah.
And how in the hell could you get 2 wives then? How could you get 2 wives if you can't even deal with your first wife? So, brothers and sisters, I want to reiterate that in the Strong's definition of the Greek for this word one, it said mia, which is one or first. It says a certain degree. It says first one. So this is not talking about him destroying. That one doesn't work. It leans. This one's not talking about you couldn't have more than one woman. What it was telling you, if you're going to take on this duty, right? You had to do what? You had to learn how to deal with your first woman. So no, you weren't just jumping in and talking about, I'm a Hebrew Israelite. Yeah, let me get 1, 2, 3. So now you got 3 demons. You got 3 disgruntled women. Because you didn't want to first learn how to do what? To deal with your first wife. So now you see why he's saying that? Y'all get that? So this is where we're going to go. I wanted to touch on that point. So we are at 1 Timothy 3 for y'all that just came in. And we're at the point where Paul said that you must be a husband of one wife. All right, so we're clear on that. One wife, right?
Come.
So go from there. Go to 1 Timothy 5 and 8.
Come.
1 Timothy 5 verse 8. And let's establish a little bit more. Why did he say this? Why did he say you had to be a bishop of one wife? You have to know how to take care of that first woman, right? And not, remember, this is not the white man take care of her. All right, you go and buying her cakes and baby, I'm begging, and you know what I mean? You're going to the doctor meetings with her because she said so, and you know what I mean? You're what else? What else? Come on, give me some more. Huh? What? Since you smiling, what's that? What?
You said that the white man...
You answer my question, or you coming with a question?
No, well, yeah, I guess
You got to answer my question first. You can come in with a question. I ain't got no problem with that, but you got to answer my question first. My question is why? Nobody knows. Go ahead. What's your question?
I was just asking you, was Exodus 21 and 10...
We're going there. We're going there. So why is it... What is it that he had to do? Read that. 1 Timothy 5 and 8.
1 Timothy chapter 5 and verse 8. But if any provide not for his own.
Right. So it's not talking about buying her things. It's not talking about that, because you know why? Proverbs 31 scratches all. She was supposed to be productive too. A lot of y'all brothers, man, you think your rib gets to sit at home, be lazy, sloppy, sloppy as hell. She's just gaining weight sitting at home talking about, you know what I mean, she's not working a job. And you doing everything. Your job is to serve the Most High and to be the priest. Her job is to serve also. So how the hell is she at home? But that, maybe that's for Friday's class. All right? We're dealing with the men. You were supposed to be able to provide. Provide how? How does the man provide? We're going to get into that. Read.
And especially for those of his own house.
Right.
He had denied the faith and is worse than an infidel.
Right. So he's got to provide for his own house. How does he provide? How does the husband provide for the house? Who? Raise your hand. Stand up. Say it loud. Background problem. Go ahead.
He provides by learning and dealing the way the scriptures.
Okay, learning and dealing with the scriptures. What else? How does he provide? Yeah.
I was going to say spiritually.
He provides spiritually. You guys are right. What else? Any more? How does the husband provide? Yeah. You was going to say something, Razak? Allison?
Protection?
Protection. Okay. Protection. How else?
I was thinking of like 1 Corinthians with the protection aspect.
Okay. Protection. And all of y'all are right. Okay. Where we at?
1 Peter chapter 3 and verse 7.
Go to 1 Peter 3 and 7. This is what it means by provide. Because it doesn't, you think about it. We know it doesn't mean he's working a 9 to 5. She's sitting at home not doing nothing. Because like I said, that would disannul Proverbs the 31st chapter. That this woman was innovative. That she was waking up early. She was doing works herself. So it can't mean that. That she's sitting at home just lazy as hell, but you working 2 or 3 jobs. You going from the hard job to the Uber. You got brothers doing that. Ribs at home. And all they doing is idle, being about, crying about what he's doing. And this brother's literally working 2 jobs. You're working 2 jobs. Where you headed? He would have 1 job to go to the Uber job because that's his night job. Right? Knees hurt, body hurt, back hurt, and what? And all she doing is sitting back. So this is not talking about that, man. Read that. Where you at?
1 Peter chapter 3 and verse 7. Likewise, ye husbands,
right?
Dwell with them according to knowledge.
Okay, y'all are here now. He's not supposed to be reading, so next scripture y'all gonna have to get. Go ahead, read it again.
Likewise, ye husbands,
right?
Dwell with them according to knowledge.
So we're supposed to deal with them according to knowledge, right? We're supposed to be the teachers. And I'll say this too. That doesn't mean you're not buying Pampers. I want to clarify that your sole job is not to go get a job and live as a house husband for your wife. All right? Because I change Pampers. I take out the trash. I mow the lawn. Right? Just to be clear. Because we know we got some Israelite brothers lazy as hell too. I'm not saying when I'm in town, if there's duties that need to get done, I'll do those duties. My ribs can vouch for me. You know what I mean? I'm gonna take out the trash. I'm gonna make sure the outside of the house is not decaying. I'm gonna take the kids with me. I'm gonna do my counseling for the children. I'm gonna do all that, no doubt. But they know my priority is to the church, to the brothers, to the sisters, to the nation. That's priority. You know what I mean? They're not gonna ridicule me because, like my rib said to say, Dan, she said, your phone don't stop, Con. But she's not gonna ridicule me and make me feel like, oh, you're giving too much to strangers more than your kids. They're not gonna do that. You know what I mean? They know everything is on pause. They're not gonna come and say to me, oh man, I'm talking to you, and then when she's talking to me and my phone rings, oh, there you go again. The brothers are more important. They're not gonna do that. Because they know. Because I did what the gospel said. I made them submit to the word first. I made them live up to the requirements and the standard first. Right? I had to, or else what? When one buildeth and another pulleth down, what benefit do you have in your works? Right? So, this is the requirement of a bishop to teach his wife. If you don't know that, you can't be a bishop. How you going to deal with more than one woman? But this is the thing. You got a lot of young cats in the school. Bro, you side texting some yamp on Instagram talking about, well, I'm teaching her. You know what I mean? How? When the first one, she's a busybody. She's idle. She's disgruntled. She would disrespect you in front of the congregation. But you're trying to like text somebody else? How is that possible? Then you ain't took no tests, right? You barely studying. You're still playing video games. Grown ass man. You know what I mean? I don't get it. That's not, y'all got to see the office, the work, the duty, the job we're taking on. Your daily appetite is what? You looking at damn anime. You dealing with anime and getting scrolling. How? Let me ask y'all a question. Do you really think David was watching anime? I don't get it. You're a grown ass man. Next thing you'll be saying, could you fringe this troll shirt? Brother, are you 13 or are you fucking? Excuse me. I'm messing with somebody right now. This is real life, though. Y'all be thinking I'm making this up. Right. You'll be thinking I'm making this up, but I'm not. But this is why. I'm getting on the brother right now, but this is why your ribs, the women, won't respect you. I don't expect my. I'm 43. Imagine me wearing a troll shirt with fringes. Right? You'd be looking at me like, nigga, you crazy. But the problem is that when you became a man, you forgot to put away childish things. And that's the problem. That you were supposed to be the guidance and the wisdom of your house. Why do you think your rib don't take you serious? Because you haven't stepped in the office of a bishop and understood that, damn, in order for me to set my house in order, I got to be the wisdom of the house. I got to be the leadership of the house. I got to be the example of the house. And this is our problem, man. Read where you're at.
Likewise, ye husbands, dwell with them according to knowledge.
Do what?
Dwell with them according to knowledge.
It says, dwell with them according to knowledge. So, this is what we had to do as coming into the priesthood. When we see you, you have to see me. Hold some type of damn example, right? I know it. I'm not Christ. But if you see me always arguing with my woman, my kids are out of order, right? My daughters is wearing pants all the time. You know what I mean? They disgruntled. They telling me, but dad, and out of order. Now, and like I said, none of us is perfect. I gotta say that as a disclaimer, right? But damn, if you didn't see some type of damn example, you'd be like, okay, well, how's the word working for you then? Right? Come. You'd be like, well, how's the Bible working for you, huh? Your ribs out of order, your wife's out of order, your kids out of order. Then you got 2 ribs out of order. Right? You'd be like, what type of niggerism is this? But that's what we get into when you get brothers hungry for women, hungry for power, hungry for position, and they won't even work on themselves first. You won't even work on yourself first, but you want all these carnal things. You don't know how to put the Most High first. You're still chasing a woman. But you want your woman to get in order. Well, what's your example? What's your example? I'm chasing you and not the Most High. So this is us stepping into the order of a bishop. You're supposed to be standing in righteousness and learning the qualifications. Read 1 Timothy 3 and 2 again, and we're going to read where you're at right here.
Come.
Read 1 Timothy. One of y'all get it. 3 and 2.
1 Timothy chapter 3 verse 2.
Go ahead.
Bishop, there must be blameless. The husband of one wife.
So you got to learn how to deal with the first wife. And that's what we're talking about when dealing with a bishop. And how do you deal with first one woman? Well, you got to be in order. In order to take care of a household, you have to know, if you ain't know how to clean your room, how the hell you going to think a woman's going to respect you? But you a grown-ass baby that don't know how to pick up after yourself. How? Nah, don't. All right. Y'all women that are going to smile and nod and shake your head, I want you to do the same thing Friday, because as we get in on these brothers' ass right now, I want y'all to do the same thing Friday. But it's true, right? Is it not true? You got grown-ass men that don't know how to clean their own dishes. And granted, you got to teach your rib standard. You know what I mean? But I will show them the standard. I'm going to show them that, no, I don't need you just to clean my dishes. But I can do it. But you don't know how to do it. I can show them that too. But we got to live the standard first. You know what I mean? That's why you establish it. You got that out of order woman? All you got to do is be the standard. You do it. You do it a few times. Clean those dishes. You know what I mean? Clean the outside. Take the vacuum. And then when you see they won't step in and follow, say, hold on a second now. What's my example? But you know why you can't do that? Because you're not living the example. But you what? You side texting some damn dirty ass yamp from the internet. You're doing that quick. Talking about, oh yeah, I'm working the number 2, huh? This is why us as men and Israelite men, it's a joke. It's a joke because we're not wanting to step up to the standard and damn man up like you're supposed to in Christ. You're bringing worldly mentality to the truth. You're trying to sew that old sucker for love ass nigga cloth to the bishop of the Most High. No. You got to live the standard and push yourself to be the man the Most High is calling you to be. So read that one more again. First Peter 3 and 7.
Likewise, ye husbands, dwell with them according to knowledge,
right?
Giving honor unto the wife.
Right. That's how we give honor to the wife. Not putting your face between her legs, talking about, you know what, I'm honoring her. I'm like, what the hell is going on here? But see, this is the problem. You got a lot of young men doing these things, bringing that in, and still asking why. Like, I don't know why she won't get in order. Because you're not requiring it. You're not living it. It's never going to get it in order. And I didn't want to throw the scripture we've been pushing and all the time. But what does it say? Except a man hold himself diligently in the fear of the Lord, his house will soon be overthrown. And that's the problem, that you don't want to put yourself in the standard and you want to require something from somebody else all the time. But you see the dynamic of this? You don't want to be the standard. You think the standard is submitting to her and putting your face between her butt and thinking like, oh, well, that's how the standard, right, Ak? Is that what you're saying, Kazakia? No. I'm saying the standard is the knowledge, the wisdom, the understanding. And if it means that you have to show her how to change a diaper, then do it. If it means that you have to show her how to get the damn trash and throw it out and make the house look good, do it. Because I got to do that for my kids. That way when they look at me and act like they ain't got arms and legs and a head and can't pick up the trash and go mow the lawn, I look at them and say, what do I do? But you got too many blunt mentalities. And when I mean blunt, meaning blunt mentalities. You slow, you move slow, You think slow. You talking slow. And it's like, bruh, you don't see why your rib is where she's at? What example are you showing her in the gospel? You think the example is what? Not holding her to a standard? It said deal with them according to knowledge. That's not the example. That's not biblical. That's you not wanting to put pressure because you don't want to put pressure on yourself. So where are we at?
1 Peter chapter 3 and verse 7, the fourth precept.
Go ahead, finish it.
Giving honor unto the wife as unto the weaker vessel. And as being...
She is the weaker vessel. So it's not telling us here to give her the power and control to rule over you. It's telling you to dwell with her according to knowledge. Bring her up to status as you are fighting for the status of a righteous man in Christ. Right? Where are we at next?
1 Corinthians chapter 7 and verse 29.
Somebody get that.
Come.
1 Corinthians 7 and 29.
1 Corinthians chapter 7 verse 29.
Go ahead.
But this I say, brethren, the time is short. It remaineth that both they that have wives be as though they had none.
So how are you going to do that if you don't teach your wife to serve the gospel, to serve the church, that you are committed to the church? How is that going to happen, when you won't hold them to the standard and requirement that the Most High wants? The duty, the dedication, the love, the commitment. Right? If you want to serve the Most High, you got to give a prophet a cup of water and to receive a prophet's reward, right? But they don't know how to serve you. How are you bringing them up to standard if you're teaching them the wrong example? Y'all get this? The way you're there for your wife is showing her the example. That's the way. We're going to get there though. It says, those that have wives be as though they had none. You're never going to get your rib to that level. Never until you live the standard. And you know what that means? It means exactly what I said earlier. That I'm not being ridiculed for putting the gospel first. My ribs, we're working together like a machine. Right? To where they're moving, they're working, and they're not making me feel bad because I'm in the work. Now, by all means, if I was in the streets, give it to me. Right? If they see me playing video games all the time, right? That's when I was supposed to get it. When I was doing the video games. But they don't see that. They see me working. They see me 1 minute, I'm trying to do do our cable show and trying to edit. We're trying to put together a class. We're trying to deal with another school. We're trying to deal with another issue, another problem. They never see me taking time out for myself to lock into my selfishness. Going and hanging around with some rando niggas that ain't doing nothing. That's why they can come back and say what? Well, you was just over there hanging out with your family doing what? What you doing? They can't say that about me. I cut that all off for Yahweh Shai. For the gospel, for the brothers, the sisters. How are we going to get them to that point if you don't live the standard of a bishop? So we're seeing that getting to this level where we want to be teachers, it didn't just come where you throw yourself in the popcorn YouTube machine and who are you? Oh, I'm such and such. There had to be qualifications that you require yourself. Listen, so what? If nobody's around you, you're watching YouTube. If nobody's around you and you're learning from YouTube, you better get yourself in this position. Because I'll say it again, and I'm going to say it through this whole topic that we go over all of these qualifications. He said, many shall come saying, I have taught in your name. And we see that. We see the bad, terrible standard. We see that nobody's holding themselves to any requirements. But there has to be requirements. Y'all get this? So, go from there. Go to Exodus 21 and 10. Go back. We want to go back. Go to Exodus 21 and 10. Go ahead.
Exodus chapter 21 verse 10.
Go ahead.
If he take him another wife,
right,
her food, her raiment, and her duty of marriage, shall he not diminish?
Okay, so let's get the obvious out of the way right here, right? If he take him another wife, do what? Stone him? Kill him?
If he take him another wife,
kill
her
him?
food.
Wait. Why are you talking about the food of another wife if having two wives was unlawful? So that's obvious that in the law is condoning a man have more than one woman. And I'll say it again for y'all that just walked in. I'm not saying a man can't have more than one woman. What I'm doing is holding you to the standard of the Spirit, that before you think about more than one woman, start worrying about what you can do and how you build your first wife. And that's what it's telling us here in the law. It says, if he what?
If he take him another wife, her food, her raiment, and her duty of marriage, shall he not diminish?
Yeah, you can't forget about your first woman. And that's the thing. Oh, she's trash. She's out of order. But you never did nothing to put her in order, at least to hold her to a standard to say, okay, I tried with her. She's been disgruntled, out of order. She's been argumentative. I've been through months with her. We try to counsel. We asked her, sister, this is not the way. We asked her to stand to the requirements of the gospel. When you can say that, then you can say, if she go not as thou wouldst have her, cut her off and give her a bill of divorce. But if you didn't hold her to no standard, you didn't keep a standard, then how is she going to be put away? Are y'all getting this? That the standard has to start with you. The standard's got to start with your job, so you can be blameless. And you can come back and say, hey, I cut off the weed. I cut off punching walls. I cut off trying to fight with her. I sat in counsel with her. I gave her the scriptures. I had patience with her. I had long suffering. Every step of the way, she is disgruntled, argumentative. It doesn't matter. You've been in counsel with her, It's time for me to cut ties with this woman. She doesn't want the gospel. Y'all see this? But you had to live the standard. So this is what the Most High is telling us. It's not talking about, oh, you know what? You got to pay child support like the white man said. It's not saying that. Because she wasn't going nowhere. Duh! In the ancient days, she wasn't going nowhere for you to be having to pay no damn child support. That's what's wrong with y'all. Y'all trying to apply white man mentality to biblical standards. She wasn't going nowhere. She didn't have the right. She wasn't going to pick up and divorce. The Bible tells you. It was saying for you to hold down your duties as a husband. Live the example. Be the standard. And this is what the Most High is showing us, man. This is why we as husbands, as men, trying to achieve this leadership, we got to keep fighting. I'm continually fighting for this standard. Not to be blameless. To be blameless, excuse me. To be a husband, deal with the women I got. I'm continually fighting for that. Patience and all the qualities. It doesn't matter how long you've been in the truth. I'm still fighting for this. I'm not perfect in these qualifications. But here's the difference. Some of you won't even try to live up to the qualification. You've been in 2 weeks already trying to get women and women. Your focus ain't nowhere in studying, in the gospel, in the book. This is where we go wrong. And this is why it goes back to what you're saying. Brothers are whoremongers. I'm not going into that part. But this is why brothers are whoremongers. This is why we did whoremongering in the past. Because we didn't live up to the standard. This is a standard. What?
So before a brother comes in, let's say they don't have, I guess, wanting to get women originally, but when they come in and hear the scripture, you know, you can have more than one wife type of thing.
Yeah.
Does that change? And then all
Are you saying that the Bible brings the battle?
Yeah.
It does. But it does that on all levels. It does that on every level. So you can't use the Bible as the problem and say, what about if we never told them that? But because it's in there. Right? Think about it. Round earth, flat earth. If you read about how the earth was created, it's going to be a question, right? New moon, whether it's dark or bright, it's got to be a question. So eventually a man is going to come to the point when he reads the Bible to say, we read the Bible all the time. Sabbath morning class, right? Every time we come in here, we go through Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, Deuteronomy. They're going to bump into it anyway. And no matter how we, over the years, we kind of let that fly under the wire for a moment, but it always comes back to it. A man had more than one wife. So that's not the problem. The problem is that we start to get in this Christian mentality that you're picking and choosing what to follow. If we're going to follow Exodus 21 about a man having more than one wife, and all the other scriptures, Exodus 20 verse 15, I think it is also, right? If a man have 2 wives, right? Well, then we got to follow what Paul is saying here. That to take on this duty of a leadership, because the Most High already called you. You can't say, well, I'm not trying to be a bishop. He already called you to be a king, a bishop, a priest. So you can't say, well, I'm not that. I'm just going to be a husbandman, a house husband. Right? To where I'm just worried about my kids, my family, and all that. He called you to be a priest to the nations. So that means that they got to fall up under this too. You see that? Right. Because I get what you're saying. And like I said, we get, at first when Israel United started with our school don't, they first started out like that. I remember it because it was about 9 years ago, gave them a little props in one of our cable shows. And then as time went on, they made a mistake saying the Bible. Nah, bro, you should have just said, listen, how we going to do it. But you can't change the scriptures say when you change these words, your name's going to be taken out of the book. The law says it's lawful. I can't technically tell a man, don't do it, but I can hold a man to the standard of a bishop that you can go get all the women you want. You can do that all you want. You ain't going to be a priest. You ain't going to be up in here teaching. You know what I mean? You ain't going to be going out street speaking because your motive is not really to do the work. Your motive is for women. Your motive is just to get women and say you believe in the Most High and use the Bible as a tool to do that. And that's garbage. Right? So let's move on. So you get that, right, sis? Okay? The Bible can't be the excuse. Like, see, because you told them, well, that's everything. Right? Go to Proverbs 15 and 27. So the scripture was saying in Exodus that the diminishing of the duties of the husband, your obligation, now all of a sudden you can't be like, I'm not doing that no more. If you know your relationship with your first wife was nourished through sexual relations, you got to keep fulfilling that. You can't be like, you know what, I got number 2, I'm good now. I mean, it's once a month for you when you guys were doing it 3 times a day. Right? It can't diminish. It can't, now all of a sudden, your child is the ugly child. No, you still got to treat your children the same way. You know how many men do that? They get a second woman and act like they first wife ain't there. They do that. A lot of Muslim countries do that. A lot of Indians do that. Right? That's not what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to keep them on the same standard. Is there a question? No? Okay, so read that. Proverbs 15:27.
Proverbs 15 verse 27.
Go ahead.
He that is greedy of gain troubleth his own house.
So, what is your motive? This is why the Bible says he should be a man of one wife. What's your motive? Are you greedy? You're about gain. And what is the biggest problem with a lot of young men when they come in? You still in that hood mentality. We got brothers like that right in here. Oh man, I gotta get this money. You know what I mean? I feel y'all, but man, I gotta get this paper. I catch y'all in the wind. Man, I got to get these women. Like, I got to get me. Man. It's women and money. Women and money. What is the difference with the truth? What's the difference? You still gonna sound like a nigga in the hood. You know what I mean? Yeah, I hear what y'all saying. I got to get this money right. Right? That's a hood mentality. That's not a righteous man mentality. We know everybody got to get a job. Everybody got to work. But what are you putting first? Right? Where's your mind at? Always greedy. Like the Most High is going to leave you out there. And you know what? You're still chasing a dream. All that talking about getting the paper, getting money, getting your woman right. And guess what? She's still not right. She's still out of order. Guess what? You still having to bend over your back all day, like the Most High said, as a slave. Y'all see this? These are problems, man, ailments, because young men come in greedy. You come in with the wrong mentality, and guess what you're teaching your woman? She's what? Greedy. And then you're trying to yell at her to keep a standard. It says, him that is greedy of gain, you trouble your house. So, this first point is about your example to your wife. Your standard. You got to step up first, and then your wife, your kids, your family will see that example, and they will follow that. Right? So what is your example? Is it money? Is it job? Is it you pleasing them? Or is it you pleasing the Most High? Y'all got to see this. Read that one more time.
He that is greedy of gain troubleth his own house.
Go to Proverbs 1:19. This is what the Most High is showing us, man. So that second part is not on my point. Y'all get that. Go ahead.
Proverbs chapter 1, verse 19. So are the ways of everyone that is greedy of gain.
Let him finish.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So are the ways of everyone that is greedy of gain.
So is the ways of everyone that is greedy of gain. It's corrupt. If you go back up in this chapter, it's talking about robbery, murdering. It's talking about that type of. I didn't want to go through all that. But all these cats that are greedy of gain is about robbery and murder and bloodshed. That's what you teach your kids. That's no different but Jake in the world. Right? I got to get mine. You know what I mean? You got to get yours. I got to get mine. And by any means necessary, right? Yeah. Shalom, I'll see y'all. You know the harvest is plenteous and the laborers are few, but where you at? You hear us talk about doing, man, I came in, I couldn't get nobody to help me with all the stuff. I'm like, damn, nobody's going to be courteous. Nobody, could you need, I'm like, what? Damn. Why? Because Israel's lazy, selfish. You know what I mean? This is what the Most High is saying, man. You got brothers that you're greedy. It's all about you. And you don't see how much you've been given, how much you're being helped. And guess what we don't do? Where's the money swiper in here? Huh? Where's the pot? We barely hit y'all up to help out for the rent. Where's the pot at that we pass around every hour? Pass the pot around. Get him in the back. Nigga, get him in the back. Right? Where's that at? You don't get that. We barely want to ask you. You see that? But that's the thing. People, it's all about you. It's not about the example your kids see, your wife sees. You're not thinking of that. And then your way to fix it is to do what? Do it their way? Come on, y'all. That's stupidity. That's stupidity. So are the ways of the greedy of gain. Go ahead.
Which taketh away the life of the owners thereof.
Right, because it gets to the point where that greediness, you don't care about anybody around you. And this is what we got to stop, man. Go from there. Go to 1 Timothy 3 verse 4. 1 Timothy 3 and 4. And I'm going to add these. That doesn't mean we're not going to go back up in this topic later down other classes. But read 1 Timothy 3 and 4.
1 Timothy chapter 3 verse 4.
Karatazai, you got this one.
One that ruleth well his own house.
How are you going to rule your own house? With wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. Right? Establishing your house with knowledge. Building your house on the foundation of the scriptures. That's what you're supposed to be doing. Stop thinking ruling your house means what? Long as I bring Pampers in. But you're bringing Pampers in, you're bringing food into demons. That ain't going to help. It's the spiritual and mental things that you got to be helping out in your house. You got to learn how to rule your house. You got to learn how to deal with the one woman first. Do you know how to rule your house? Huh? Could you call your rib right now? How many of y'all can call your woman right now and say, listen, I know you were going to cook this. I want you to make this. That's a simple request, right? I'm going to ask y'all again. Is that wicked to call your rib and ask her, switch up what you were going to cook tonight? It's not wicked, right? I know it's detrimental to their minds sometimes, and it would really throw off their moment, right? But who in here can call and ask your rib to do that, and she'll switch up from what she was cooking and make you something? If you got a second question yourself for that, then I want you to go to the bathroom. Open the cabinet, take the pills out. That's a simple request. You can't get a meal? What the what? You can't get a meal. Really? You might as well just end it right now. In that relationship. The Most High is showing you, man. The Most High is showing you. Could you rule your house? Read it one more time, because y'all think I'm making this up. Read it one more time.
One that ruleth well his own house.
Not yet. Not one that what?
Ruleth well his own house.
One that ruleth well his own house. Well. With wisdom, knowledge, understanding. But do you have the rule? If you don't got rule of your own house, bro, why are you trying to get another woman? Please tell me. Why are you rapping to this other woman and you can't rule your own house? Y'all see the problem here? What's the problem? Karatazai, what is it?
The problem is a lot of brothers don't have their stuff all together, let alone their ribs, but then they're trying to take on more responsibilities when you can't handle the responsibility that you already got.
That's why you got to deal with your first wife. What else? What else is the problem, Mike? What's the problem here? Go ahead,
Man, you know, really dudes still, like you said, they come in with a hood mentality, so they still playing the game for real. Or, you know, that's what they call it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's still a damn game. I want to come in, I want to use the Bible, and it's a game. You haven't put away childish things. The Bible is not there for you to play around with. It's for you to help, to strengthen, to benefit your family, to benefit your children, your wife. But you playing games. And I'm going to say it again. By you not holding them to the standard is playing games. Y'all got to understand that. You got some? Hold that. All right, read on. First Timothy 3 and 4.
Come. Having his children in subjection.
Wait a minute. Your kids are out of order. The kids are out of order. Disgruntled. Disrespectful. Why? Because your wife's out of order. You got ribs, actually, in our school, new people, gotta say that, because they ain't been here. Because usually they won't last. Because we ain't gonna let up. Somebody's gonna break. Your wicked ass is gonna break. Oh yeah, we're not letting y'all sisters come in with that madness. So when we hear it, when we see it, we're gonna put you on blast. But you being new, we got to give you what? Time. Right? The brother's giving the kids the order to what to do. The kids will go run back to the mom and disrespect that order and tell them, no, do what I'm telling you. This is niggerism that is trying to be brought in within the gospel. And now you got families and households out of order. But the man ain't listening to the wisdom. He's not listening to the counsel. He's applying counsel when he wants to, and then he what? Well, I applied it one time. Every other time, I'm just kissing her ass. That's not going to help you, y'all. There's got to be a standard. You got to use the wisdom. The Bible got to lead your life. It ain't going to work by you applying the one time. Well, I did it once. It worked good. Now you just let everything else fall apart. Or you use it in one aspect, but you don't know how to use it all. It's like you. Yeah, I was going to say something else, but I'm trying to be respectful. Brothers, y'all got to grow up. You got to grow up. So this is what it's telling us. In order to rule our house, we got to apply the scriptures and establish our house in righteousness. Not kissing her ass. Not letting the children rule over us. Then you got her causing more commotion? Why do you think I keep telling y'all, strap the hell up? Why I keep telling y'all, put a condom on. 2, 3, wrap the head real tight. If your rib is out of order, if she can't even cook a meal for you, if she's always disgruntled and arguing, wrap it up. Use aluminum foil. You understand that? Because when you get caught up, you're going to be like, damn. Now you got one on the way. Yeah, she pregnant, huh? It's like, you silly niggas is unbelievable. And what happens to them? What happens when it happens to brothers? Now you're a servant for their sake. What you was gonna say, I
just going to say, for example, what you're talking about, like, going back from last week when you was talking about the pride of the woman.
Right.
And, a lot of us not in the households with the women. So, long story short, I had a my home girl, knowing each other since we was kids, really, and she basically a single parent, things of that nature, can't really, so she worked, take care of everything, and, so she got that real prideful, arrogant attitude, man. It just showed like how the man should be in the house, man. Her daughter came to blues, and daughter swung on her and
Bro, that's a World Star every day movie for me.
yeah.
Every time I go to World Star to look for news, that's all you see on there. Niggas acting like Goonies, Gremlins, parents fighting kids. I seen one the other day. The kid and the son and the father was shooting a shootout. Y'all see that one?
No.
The son and the father were shooting at each other. I couldn't believe it, but I can. Because why? My people are destroyed for the lack of knowledge. Because thou hast rejected knowledge, I will reject you. You will be no priest to me. I ain't going to correct your rib. I ain't going to correct your kids. It's going to be chaos. And that's the curse. And what the problem is that as we come back to the gospel and learn how to be priests, we got a lot of brothers trying to mesh Jake mentality with the gospel. It's not going to work. You mix old wine in new bottles, you would blow up the bottle. You mix old cloth on new garment, you're going to destroy and rent the garment. That's what the gospel says. And this is what a lot of us are not getting. We're still trying to be the nigga that we came in instead of being the priest that the Lord chose us to be. Y'all get this? Finish it up. Come on.
Having his children in subjection.
So the kids got to be taught. The kids got to be taught. They got to be shown. But if you don't know how to communicate with your wife, and you don't know how to talk, and you more humble than your wife and letting her run over you, how are you going to have your kids in subjection? Now, there's a lot of topics within this, and I don't want to go into all these points. I want to stick to the point of you being a bishop, and the requirement is you to be the example and do your due diligence. Your due diligence to step up as a man. Because, yeah, we can go down this angle about the kids. We can go down a lot of roads during this topic. But I'm trying to stick to one point. There's so many classes within this. You got to hold the standard. That's what we're going over tonight. A man should be if he's going to be a bishop, he got to learn how to deal with his first wife. These are the requirements. You're going to read verse 5.
With all brethren. For if a man know not how to rule his own house, how shall he take care of the church of God?
And that's the point. How is he going to take care of the church of the Most High if he doesn't know how to rule his house? If you're still chasing women, how are you going to be set up as a priest? If you out in those streets, there's nothing wrong with you getting a woman. But if your mind is motivated by women more than the service of the duty of the Most High, how are you going to do it? How are you going to serve the Most High? Y'all see this? What's going to be more important? I call you, I'm telling you I'm killing myself. And then you like, no, but I'm arguing with my rib. I got my own problems. You definitely don't need that position. I got my own problems. I can't deal with you. Then what the hell are we here for? We definitely not doing our job if we can't be at service to our nation. Right? Y'all have to see this. You finish that? So let's go into more of this example. The second point. Right? Psalms 32 and 8. Psalms 32 and 8.
Come.
Go ahead.
The Psalms chapter 32, verse 8.
I
will instruct thee and teach thee in the way which thou shalt go.
You see that? I will instruct thee and teach thee. How? We went over this the other day. What's the best way we're able to instruct our people? What?
Being the example.
Being the example. So once again, if you're lazy, what your kids gonna be?
Lazy.
If you're lazy, what your rib gonna be?
Lazy.
Right? If you a slow thinker, what your rib gonna be?
Slow thinker.
No, she gonna think for you. No. She gonna be smart. and she gonna think for you. She gonna think over you, and she gonna run that damn house. What you got?
Ecclesiasticus 25 and 22.
No. We're not going there.
No.
Come on. This is what the Most High is showing us. So your example is important. We always go there. They know that.
Right.
We're not dealing with women. We're dealing with this point of the men supposed to be the example. They're supposed to be the standard. The standard starts with you not chasing women, but you being the example. So you got to instruct the house. So your mind got to be there in the house. Right? Go to read that again.
Psalm chapter 32, verse 8.
Yep.
I will instruct thee and teach thee in the way which thou shalt go.
Right?
I will guide thee with mine eye.
Yeah, but if your eyes are not guide on your family, on your house, because this is the first steps, y'all. Before I can enter into that bishopship, I have to know how to take care of my house. Everything I'm learning in my house, the qualities, is for the body. If I can't sit there and be patient, and this is what I always repeat in my mind. If I can't be patient with my 3-year-old screaming, the dog barking, and my rib barking, and I can't control my mind, right? And I'm losing it, how am I going to be able to be that for the body? How am I going to be there for the brothers and the sisters? Y'all get this? I'm not going to be able to. So you see why it's important that we learn this standard. You got to be learning in your house. Where are you bad at? Raise your hand. I want y'all to put a 7 in. Not messing with you. But no, I want y'all in the chat. Men, fess up to one thing that you need to get better at. Raise your hand in here. What one thing you need to be getting better at as a husband? Come on. Don't be shy. Give it a try. Brothers, what do you need to be doing better at being a husband? Go ahead, you want to say it? It's pouring out of you. Yeah, he's like, hell nah. What could you be better at as a husband?
Conveying my message correctly.
Beautiful. See? Not the obvious. I like that. You know what I mean? I thought you were going to say, lock it into the Most High. Perfect. Right? Perfect. Bad at communication. Now, that's one of the first greatest qualities we need dealing with Israel. That is why a lot of us can't get along with each other, because we don't know how to convey our message to each other when we hurt and harm each other and offend each other. So if you don't know that at home, and you can't do that to the one you love, the one you sleep with, the one you roll over the bad breath with, right? The one where you see the drawers are dirty, right? How the hell are you going to do it with everybody around you? So right now, that is those things, if you were to write those down, you got to get better at that to instruct your people. But it starts in your house. It starts in your house. So that's what I had to do. I had to come back and say, damn, wait a minute. If I'm bad at these things in my house, I'm going to be terrible with people, strangers that come off the street, that are like to the Gentiles. Dun, dun, dun. Right? A prophet to the world. Dun, dun, dun. Like, I'm not going to be none of that if I can't be in the house and I'm just losing it, angry, punching walls. You know what I mean? Just like, man, just like can't get through her. She's talking circles around me. Like, some of y'all reals be like, yeah, but blah, 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 blah. It's like a Dominican, Puerto Rican, and Judite all mixed in one. It's like, and you over there like, you doing the Van Dam on them. Right? You're like, man, I can't, you know what I mean? For real, She tripping on. It's like, bro, what you doing? Because you can't psychologically calm this chihuahua down because her mouth won't slow down. And she just, and you're like, whoa. And I get it, because when I get on the phone with some of y'all, I be like, but we got to come back with the experience and say, how many times you got a priest on the phone and you saw him what? All the little walls, one after another. Break them down. Break them down. It's sure. But Quadazam got on and said one thing. And that was like, well, yeah, calm. When that would have blew your mind, she would have caught you. She would have caught you in a cage with her one little statement. But it took him experience to say one thing. And this is what y'all not getting, that you got to overcome these obstacles to be that bishop. So I could be a better leader for my people. What, something on there?
They're telling you.
What do they got? What does the brother got?
Brother, you got I can't say the names.
Dawiyat or Dawid?
David, faint calm, Dawiyat, patience, Bakar, patience, Corey, my reaction, Moshe, be firmer. And then the last brother said, I'm trying to work on speaking when something bothers me.
Right. Very good ones. That's a lot of good things that y'all at least acknowledge. Because a lot of times, I'm going to say it correctly, we as men, we don't know how to communicate because all we want to do is react in a negative way. Right. So we don't know how to sit them down and say, okay, here's my issue. Here's my problem. You know what I mean? Now you got to get around the reason why you don't want to do that. See, could be a lot of reasons. You don't want to face her. You don't want to face yourself. You don't want to get in an argument. If there's any point in my spirit I'm afraid to talk to my rib, I push myself to. Why? Because I gave her rule over me then. There should be no way you fear your rib. Like, damn, I got to go in there again. The scriptures tell you that's a wicked woman. The scriptures say when you're ready to dwell in the rooftop, in the corner of a house, that's a wicked woman. You should be able to express yourself to your friend, right? She's your friend. Right? Like Esau, you guys are buddies. Right? You're supposed to be able to express yourself in any way to her. And that's real. I'm joking about it, but that's real. And a lot of times we don't know how to communicate that. So a lot of things that brother said on there, and that's kudos to y'all, brother, that are able to voice that. Now you got to say to yourself, damn, if I'm going to be a bishop, damn, I got to get past these little minor things. But you're not going to get past them if you don't work. If you don't go to that gym and work them out. That means you got to push yourself in that position. Because we're not there. We're not in your house. Unless you counsel with us, then we'll be able to say, this is what you're bad at. You need to get better at this. You got to follow what the scriptures say. If you got a problem with a brother, do what? That applies to your rib too. That don't only apply to a situation with a brother in the sanctuary. That means that if you got a problem with your rib, you got to do what the gospel says. Go to her. When the Bible says, know them that labor among you, are you not laboring with your wife? You got to know her. But if you're not communicating and talking and breaking down these walls between y'all, you're not going to gain that. You're not going to build that. So I'm glad y'all spoke on these things. Read that. Read it again. Psalms 32:8, and then go to Genesis 18:19, and then the one you wanted. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Psalm chapter 32, verse 8.
Go ahead.
I will instruct thee and teach thee
right
in the way which thou shalt go.
She's looking at you. The first thing a black woman, Hispanic woman, Native American woman is looking at you. I'll say it again. You know why I can shut my ribs' mouth? Because they don't see, barely can see cracks. They can challenge me on my decision making. That's always going to happen. But what they're not going to see is me disgruntled, emotional, me running, hiding from my issues and problems. Right? They might not like what I got to say, but I'm going to say it. I'm going to tell them. Y'all see that? So my issue, where I got to get better at as a husband, is going through and being able to deal with the issues in different ways. Getting better at being a chameleon to deal with their issues. So I'm always working on that. Right? Because in my mind, I'm like, you out of the spirit. And that's a given. That's like easy. That's an easy way out, right? But that's not going to fix the issue. So I got to be able to, with wisdom, show them in different arenas how to see certain things. And I got to get better at that. It never stops. It's always work to get yourself better, to be a better leader, a better brother, a better husband, a better man. Because that is going to make me better with y'all. It goes back to the lack of patience with stupidity. I have that too. I got a lack of patience with dumb niggas. You know what I mean? It's just like, wait a minute, you're how old? But you can't see that? Like, why are you acting like you're 15 then? That's what gets me. So I got to go back and realize it's not about that. It's about really showing brothers and sisters the proper way according to the Spirit and not thinking like that. Because that's not the way to approach things. You see what I'm saying? People got to come into the truth at different ages. So I got to learn that in my house and get better at that in my house. And I'm getting better at that in the church. So all these things we got to see. Genesis 18:19. Come on.
Genesis chapter 18 and verse 19.
Go ahead.
For I know him, that he will command his children.
He will do what?
Command his children.
See? So our example will be for our children and our wife. Our leadership will be for our children and our wife. This has given us the backbone again that we lost to the white man and to giving ourselves serving kids and women. We're going to command them according to the gospel, according to the knowledge of the Most High. And these are the things we're stepping up and learning as we become bishops. Now you can sit in the seat and say, nah, I'm not doing that at home. I'm not just talking to rando women. I'm not in the streets no more. I'm not popping a pill, drinking a bottle to solve my problems. No, I'm confronting my problems. I can sit there with my rib and with my family and go through it. You know how you get in those conversations with your rib where they're all emotional and they be making everything up? It's like, you gonna make everything up? So I didn't try no step of the way. That's where you get the discipline from. To swallow. Okay. No, I'm going to let you finish. Go ahead. Sorry, I cut you off. I cut you off? My bad. Con. And then try to deal with wisdom and work through the problems, right? Yeah. It takes patience. We learn this. And guess what? In the sanctuary, it's the same thing. You get disgruntled, out of order brothers that only see it the way the world taught them. And when you get with them, you're like, go ahead. And you already know what they're going to say. You already know how they think. But you got to listen to that and walk them through it and become all things to all men to try to at least win them. Right? To adapt to the different styles of brothers. You learn that in-house. How many of y'all got kids? I got the introvert the extrovert, the lively one, right? I got all of them. You know what I mean? Shariah talk to you. Quadashaya, you got to pry it out of her. Perfect. So now I got to learn more how to go to Quadashaya and get in those conversations. So I'll go to the room, sit in. What's up with you? And what you got to do? One-liners. Nothing. What you up to? None. Right. What you got going on? None. It's like, damn, you ain't going to give me nothing? Nope. Shariah, you go in? She's like, yeah, but I'm like, I like this. This is easy. Quadashaya, no, she's going to make you work. But brothers are like that. Right, Mike? Shalom, Mike. What's up with you? Good? Chill. You know what I mean? What you up to, bro? None. It's work. But the love of the brotherhood, we got to build those relationships. You see that? We got to build that. But this is what we're doing in the gospel as we learn as a bishop, as a husband, and apply it in the body. Y'all get that, right? Go ahead, read on.
And his household after him.
Right, and his household after him. Because that's the point, right? If a man can't take care of his own house, how can he take care of the house of the Lord? It is not talking about Pampers. Because faggots buy Pampers all day. You got transvestite that buy Pampers. That don't make you a man. It's talking about wisdom, knowledge, understanding, leadership, decision making. It's talking about those things. Yeah, and then if you have to mow the lawn and buy Pampers, that too. You understand that? Where you did you finish that? Go ahead.
And they shall keep the way of the Lord.
You see that? Are you showing them to what?
Keep the way of the Lord.
Are you showing your kids to what?
Keep the way of the Lord.
Is you showing your daughter to what?
Keep the way of the Lord.
That's what our example is supposed to be. Are they keeping the way of the Lord? Y'all see that? That's beautiful, ain't it? Go ahead, where you at?
Deuteronomy Chapter 6 and verse 6.
Deuteronomy Chapter 6 and verse 6. And these words which I command thee this day shall be in thine heart.
So the words that you're talking in your house, it's coming straight from the scriptures. You're not talking the wisdom and knowledge that you got from your grandma. You're not talking the knowledge and wisdom that you got from your dad. You're talking and teaching your kids, your household, your wife, in the fashion of what the scriptures have to say. Read on.
And thou shalt teach them diligently.
That means you're doing it consistently. That means you don't try it one day, we're going to do it this week, and then we're going to skip next week, and we're going to do it every other week. No, diligently means you're doing it consistently, frequently, as often as you can. Maybe once, twice, 3 times in a day. Read.
Unto thy children.
You're checking your child's mind, finding out what they're learning, and filtering what they're getting from this filthy world. And you're washing it with the water by the word. Read on.
And shall talk of them when thou sittest in thine house.
You're not trying to what's the word? It's like belittling. It's
condescending.
You're not trying to condescend your child and talk to them like a kid, like a baby. Google Gaga. You're not talking about stupid stuff.
Right.
Meaningless.
Yeah, I had a real good man talk situation with Shemaiwan. You know what I mean? He looked at me, these kids be knowing. I was like, bro, don't interrupt when grown-ups are talking no more. He was like, I was like, seriously. The problem is that every time we're talking, you're interrupting. He was just looking at me like, I was like, you're not going to do that no more, are you? He was like, this dude was like looking at me like grown up. And I'm like, man, this dude comprehends. I didn't have to talk with him like, no, don't do that, little Billy. That's a no-no. I talk to him like a brother. We deal with him, and I'm trying to get everybody, because Mawala lacks patience with him. The kids lack patience in actually dealing with him on telling him. But they got to get better at that, right? You see that? We all got to get better at these things, man, that are going to be better for the body. Because I see the lack of patience in my kids, and they're going to lack that patience in the body. So I had to tell Mawala, I said, listen, you gotta get more patient with him. But he doesn't listen to me, because you got to talk to him correctly. You got to win him. See, he doesn't have that quality yet. Mawala doesn't have that yet. The kids don't got that yet. I think Quadashaya has the only that patience, right? To really soothe him and calm him down and get through to him. You know what I mean? I think Shariah does too a little bit. You know what I mean? But Mawala's real bad with that. And you know the one thing I told Mawala before he was born? I said, you going to forget about your little brother when you get older? He was like, no. But he was small at the time. But now he's doing exactly. Ignore him, get away from me. I'm doing my thing, you doing your thing. I'm like, no, bro. You said you were going to be a brother. You got to be his brother. You see that? You what? The last scripture was, where we at?
Deuteronomy Chapter 6 and verse 6.
Deuteronomy 6:6. It's these things in our household that will build the household. Y'all see that? So our standard is what is going to teach the family. But I'll say it again. If you're still a big ass kid in your house and your conversation is about anime to your rib and joking all the time, how can she take you serious?
She won't.
Do I got to pull it? Let's get it, because I keep quoting it. 1 Corinthians 13 and 11. 1 Corinthians 13 and 11.
1 Corinthians 13 and verse 11.
Yeah, we'll do that one.
When I was a child, I spake as a child.
See, so it starts here, brothers. Your example. What are you talking about? Right? Once again, some of these men are grown in here. You know what I mean? Like, I ain't gonna be talking with you about no damn anime. And Khan, I get it, you're young. But read it again.
When I was a child, I spake as a child.
Come on, man. Come on, So I get it, but you got to grow up. It says, I spake as a child. You know what I mean? Let's talk about something spiritual. What you need? Let's talk about something greater. And I'm not saying we can't talk about anime, but 90% of the time, nah, we ain't going to be talking about that. You know, every conversation, you joking, you playing, nah. The scriptures tell you how to speak. Maybe we need to go over a speech class. Maybe we need to go over how men should speak. What men are talking about. But this is what he's saying. When you were a child, you did childish things. You know what I mean? All you did, what did Jake do? Women, money. They ain't got nothing to talk about. We trying to take over the world. How the hell are we going to sit down all day and talk about anime or some foolishness? Yeah, and we get those frivolous talks at time, right? Talk about a rapper, you talk about a Netflix series. But that should be only 10% of your time. 90% of the time I should be about, man, where are we going to take over next? What job we got to do? What things need to be done? I've yet have a brother to say, hey, what things need to, I see the things y'all are doing. Y'all busy as hell. Could you sit down and explain how y'all get this done? What things that I can do? I have yet a brother to ask that. Because why? And I know sometimes you're still distracted on your things, but let's talk about things like that. Godly things, wisdom. You understand that? It says they did what?
When I was a child,
right?
I spake as a child.
I spake as a child. Go ahead.
I understood as a child.
Now, even what we're talking about tonight, You got to understand what's going on. To be a bishop, it says you got to deal with that first woman. Your mind shouldn't be on no other distractions but learning what it is to be qualified as a leader and a bishop. That's what's going to get you to the next level. So, I ask you this. Where's your head at? What's your mind on? Judge yourself, man. Go ahead.
I understood as a child.
Go ahead.
I thought as a child.
I what?
Thought as a child.
Now, listen to this. The scripture says, as a man thinketh, so is he. The scripture also says, it's not what goes into a man, is what comes out, because what proceeds from you comes from your mind. It comes out of you. So what you talk about is what's in your head. So what are you talking about? What are you talking about? This is how we know some of y'all are immature as hell. And you got to grow up as a Hebrew Israelite man and say, man, I'm not here to play games. I'm here to learn what it is to be a better man in wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. I'll say it again. Every conversation ain't going to be about the scriptures. But it's got to be some grown-up talk 90% of the time. 10% of the time, yeah, you're going to talk about random things, right? It shouldn't be 50-50. Y'all see this? So where are your thoughts at as a man, as a Hebrew Israelite man? Go ahead.
But when I became a man, I put away childish things.
You got to put away the childish things. So what childish things are you dealing with? Huh? You a jokester? You got to put that away. I'm not saying you can't have a personality, but there's got to be a balance, right? Because you can't be too serious. There's got to be a balance. If you know the scriptures, there's got unjust balance is wickedness.
That's right.
So if you're too joking, that's too much. That's a no-no. If you're too serious, that's too much. You got to have some type of personality. You can't be stone cold all the time. Shalom, Shalom. Righteous man scarcely smiles. You know what I mean? This is what you get, nigga. You know what I mean? There's got to be a personality. So us as men got to understand that balance. Too much is not right. Y'all get this? Where you at? You done with that? You done with Deuteronomy? Where you at? Okay. Did you finish Deuteronomy? Okay, go ahead and finish that.
Deuteronomy 6 and verse 7. And thou shalt teach them diligently unto thy children.
So you're speaking consistently, but what are you talking about? What does your conversation consist of with your child, with your wife? The way you speak and the way you speak it in your household, hold that for me. Give me 1 Peter chapter 4 and verse 11. I pulled the scripture this morning. But this is how you're supposed to be talking with your kids, with your woman. Go ahead.
This is 1 Peter chapter 4 and verse 11.
Read that.
If any man speak, let him speak as the oracles of the Most High.
This is how you have to be diligent with your child. You have to speak like an oracle. You're trying to teach them the things that pertain to the Most High that's beneficial for their spirit. This is how you build your credit. This is how you build your name, your lineage in your household. Read on. Or was that it?
There's more.
Go ahead.
If any man minister, let him do it as of the ability which the Most High giveth.
That was it. That was it on that. So read that first part again, one more time.
Okay, let me jump in here. Let me get this scripture real quick. All right, because we're running out of time. Go to first Psalms 128 and 1. Psalms 128 and 1. Just adding on what you're saying. I want to get this out. Psalms 128 and verse 1. Read that.
Psalms 128 verse 1. Blessed is everyone that feareth the Lord.
Go ahead.
That walketh in his ways.
Right? And this is the point. We're trying to get brothers to see the way this bishop's supposed to be. He's got to fear the Most High. Not your women, not your kids, not Esau. What the will of the Most High is. But check this out. Read.
For thou shalt eat the labor of thine hand.
And that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to get you blessed up. But the only way you're going to get blessed up is serving the Most High. And the labor of your hands in the Spirit, you will see all these other things start falling in order. Read.
Happy shalt thou be, and it shall be well with thee.
See, that's where we're going to get the happiness from. This is where we're going to get it from. Go ahead.
The wife shall be as fruitful as a fruitful vine.
It says, the way or thou?
Thy wife, Salah.
Read it one more time, Ike.
Thy wife shall be as a fruitful vine.
You see that? Thy wife shall be as a fruitful vine. You want to get your wife productive, growing. You want to see growth in the spirit from your rib. Well, you got to go in the fear of the Lord. This is what it means, except a man hold himself diligently in the fear of the Lord. His house will soon be overthrown. This is the opposite. Once you lock in the spirit and you lock her in the spirit, she'll be fruitful. She will be that Proverbs 31 woman. But you got to be the example to get her there. And I know what you're asking. I know what you're saying. Well, how about if I'm locked in and she's not? Well, then the Most High, what did he say to a righteous man he would do? What?
Give him a righteous one.
He'll give you a righteous one. He'll move that wicked woman out of the way, the ones that don't want to serve the Most High and do the will of the Most High, and bless you with a good woman. The Most High promised this. Go ahead. Right. Ecclesiasticus 26 and 3. A good wife is a good portion which shall be given in the portion of him that fear the Lord. So this is literally what this means. That was Ecclesiasticus 26 and 3. Read where you at again. Psalms
128 and 3. Thy wife shall be as a fruitful vine by the sides of thine house.
You see that? She's going to be flourishing. Your house is going to be flourishing. The growth is going to be beyond what you imagine when you give yourself to the will of the Most High, to the service and duty of the Most High. That's what it means. We know she's not a tree, but you see David a lot of times says what? We're going to be like a tree planted by the rivers of living water. And this is what it's saying that's going to happen to the woman. Not just you, but her too. She's going to have growth. Go ahead.
Thy children like olive plants round about thy table.
Man, this is what happens when you lock into the spirit and you get better at your job. You keep thinking, I'm going to get her right when I pour all my spirit into her. That's not what the gospel says. The word don't say that. It says you're going to get her right by pouring your spirit into the Most High and learning your job and your duty to the Most High. That's what a bishop's going to do. And if you can't do that, why are you looking for more than one woman? You're supposed to rule your one wife. You're supposed to get that right first. Then you can work on other things. But you see, after everything we went over, all these things we went over, how hard is it just dealing with one woman? How much work you got to do dealing with one woman? Raise your hand if you got one woman. Does it work?
Yes. Yeah.
Huh? It's work. Right? Are you ready to face the things you got to work on in that one relationship and the qualities that you need to embody to be a better bishop? That's what you should be working on. Not entertaining some other woman because you can. Y'all get this? But what is it telling us? If we lock into serving the Most High, what's going to happen? Your kids are going to flourish. Your rib is going to flourish. She's going to get to that level that you want her to. Right? Go ahead.
Behold, that thus shall the man be blessed that feareth the Lord.
You see that? He's going to be blessed that feareth the Lord. Go ahead.
The Lord shall bless thee out of Zion, and thou shalt see the good of Jerusalem all the days of thy life.
Go ahead.
Yea, thou shalt see thy children, and peace upon Israel.
This is what the Most High is showing us. This is how we're going to get our kids and our family together, locking into the spirit. So your method is not the method, man. The method is the Most High. That's the way. But it's got to come through your example. All right? We can keep going. I mean, if I keep going, we'll be here all day. All right? Y'all had any questions on that? Because it is 9 o'clock.
Nah.
Any questions on that? Anybody want to confess? Bear witness? Huh? Nothing? Anything online? Yeah, this is, listen, that was only why a man should be focusing on one woman, becoming a bishop. Next time, we're going to get into the next point, which is vigilant and sober.
That's a lot of problems.
Oh, a lot of issues with brothers.
Yeah, because nobody's vigilant, everybody's dismal and busy-minded, and they're swayed by every influence, every vice.
Right, no, we hold that clip. All right, y'all got any questions? Anything, brother? I know you came in late. Did you have anything?
Well, I was about to ask about tomorrow's topic, but I said for tomorrow.
Yeah, it's Thursday, but yeah.
Yeah, I want to get into that.
You want to get in that? We're gonna definitely get into that.
It's a big problem with brothers I speak to.
Yeah.
We talk, but they,
everywhere.
Yeah, from the weed, the hammer on the coke.
There you go.
Syrup, which I know y'all know about.
Yeah.
Big ear, the Molly stuff,
Yeah.
I speak to, they be doing it, but they still want my perspective on truth or the Bible stuff.
Yeah.
It can get hard sometimes because they hear it, their mind is hearing it, but the spirit can't congest it.
Yeah.
Their body and mind is separated.
Exactly. I mean, we got to just keep doing what we've been doing, which is little by little washing them, and hopefully they wake up. You know what I mean? Giving them little by little and hitting them upside the head. Because these cats dealing with our people, a lot of times it's the ass whooping from the Lord that wakes them up. And then they hit you up, man, we was talking way back. It has to happen because our people are stubborn and stiff-necked. So, unfortunately, man. But did anybody have anything online?
No, there's sisters saying there was a good class, needed. Brothers, good class. Brothers saying keep going.
Now, I want to say this, because I see some of y'all cats are still on there. This doesn't give the woman the right to tell her husband what he wants to do. If that brother wants to get another woman, that's not on you. I don't want y'all to think that is your job, because we're doing that job. It's our job as the priest to tell your husband. It's not your job as his wife to try to usurp authority. So I want to say that finishing out this class, because I'm going to say that a lot of you sisters be real hype and happy when we go into the men. But make sure you hear Friday too. Keep that same energy when we go over these women classes, because you sisters got a lot to work on. And I had to end that class on that point because a lot of times they think they got the right. You think you got the right to tell him what he should be doing and what he shouldn't. It's not on you. We're going to deal with that. Right? Let us deal with that. Let us tell him, because that's the order the Most High set up. He didn't set you up to tell him what to do. You're going to move out of order, trying to, once again, do it your way. So, if nobody got any questions, y'all know the deal. We'll be back here Thursday. You know we got a lot, but here's the thing. Lord willing, we got a lot of classes. We'll keep going over classes and classes. So, I'm going to say this. Look out for tomorrow for Houston class. You subscribe to our Houston channel? You should, because we got... No, it's on YouTube. Okay. And when you go to Israelite ISBHPK on YouTube, you will see one is spelled out. Israelite School of Biblical History and Practical Knowledge. Mm-hmm. That's our main channel. Remember, we only been out here 2 years, so we just opened up this channel recently. That one has been over the last 9-10 years now. Oh, okay. Yeah, so you got a lot of videos and classes, and they go live every other day. We're not live. So if you want to, peel through there too, Quatazop's down there, and they sharp. Brothers are sharp down there. San Antonio, sharp. You know what I mean? So, other than that, let's salute everybody online. Say shalom. Shalom. Yeah.
Six chill, for real.
Judah. The scepter will never leave Judah. The scepter will never leave Judah. The scepter will never leave Judah. I'm Judah. Christ sprang out of Judah. King David was Judah. King Asa was Judah. Don't crowd me up, who gon' rouse me up? Alistair Crowley, your time is up. It's a big mess, I gotta clean it up. Esau, the end of my kingdom's up. On the eagle's neck, I'll press. I woke up from my rest. My rulership is up next. No vex.